Katrina is a neurosurgery physician's assistant, certified breathwork facilitator, and co-founder of the Global Breath Network. And the topic of her presentation today will be From Panic to Purpose, Lessons from the Pandemic. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Katrina to the stage.
I am, as you said, I'm a medical provider. I've been a PA for 20 years, and I'm also a breath work facilitator. And I've been doing that for about 6 years. I'm extremely lucky that I get to combine both my worlds, both my loves, to help myself, my colleagues, and our patients. Breath is the gateway. It's the lever for the nervous system. It allows you to stop, to control your breath, and to control your nervous system. It allows you to come back to center. It allows you to stop, to go within, and to focus not only on yourself, your well-being, but people around you as well. It allows you to connect to others when you slow down and you allow your breath to breathe you. It also does a lot of stuff in your body that changes physiologically, and it allows you to be present in every single moment. I'm lucky that I get to use breathwork with my patients. I'm currently doing a study using breathwork. I'm actually using coherence breathwork with postoperative spine patients. So after they have surgery, we're doing a protocol where I'm actually doing coherence breath with them daily. We're looking at opioid use, length of stay, and pain management. And so far, we've had such really good results. We're not done yet, so hopefully soon I'll be able to publish the data. But we're just using this and helping them to take control a little bit of their recovery, to take the power back, to take part of their care and in their management. This is super empowering, not only for myself, but for every single person involved. And I'm so lucky I get to do this. I think we're all lucky that we get to do this. And I just wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of land, to join here in this space and to breathe together, to unite together. My go-to breath is coherence breath. Again, it's something I'm also using with our patients. And I love this breath because there's science behind it. I'm very science-driven. I'm very results-driven. And it helps you to synchronize your brain and your heart rhythms. It is such a powerful breath. It allows you to stay present, to stay in the moment, and to stay within yourself, while also connecting with others around you. You're able to synchronize everything into harmony. You're able to stop, you're able to focus, and you're able to connect with yourself. So if we can just do about a minute or two of coherence breath, I'm sure most of, if not all of you are aware of how to do it, but we're just gonna breathe in through our nose for a count of 6 and out of our nose for a count of 6. Slowly through your nose, you can start your inhale for a count of 6. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. Allowing the breath just to breathe you, connecting your heart and your brain, and connecting with everyone in the room. While you're breathing, imagine the breath coming in and out of your heart. Imagine the breath flowing seamlessly in and out of your nose. Grounding in presence, feeling supported, feeling whole, and feeling the connection. Feeling the power of the breath and the warmth that it brings to you and to the collective. It is a super powerful breath and very easy to do. Nobody has to know what you're doing. It allows you to connect with yourself and bring your body into coherence. You can do it in any place, at any time, in any situation, without anyone knowing what you're doing. It is such a powerful breath. I use it as much as possible. So I want to start with a story, a very difficult story, and it's a moment I will never forget. It was early in the pandemic, COVID-19, and it hit our city hard. The hospital was like nothing I've ever seen. ICUs were full, hallways were eerily quiet, and yet, inside the units, everything felt like controlled chaos. One evening, on March 31st, 2020, our unit opened to become a COVID unit. I was the only provider in the unit at that point in time. We had nurses, we had respiratory therapists, and everybody was working together. It was scary. It was extremely, extremely scary. We did not know what to expect, and we did not know what this disease was and how we were to treat it. As the day went on, the fear increased. Patients were coming in one after another, the next sicker than the last. It was hard. We didn't know what to do. I remember vividly, a patient came in, I remember it like it was yesterday. He must have been about 35 years old, struggling to breathe. Oxygen levels dropping super fast. We stopped, we paused. The nurses moved with precision. Respiratory therapists prepared the ventilator. I coordinated the next steps. The room was tense, and every single second counted. This was life or death. Then something small, almost invisible, happened. We paused, just for a few seconds, although it felt like an eternity. Someone confirmed the plan, another checked the medications, the respiratory therapist got the ventilator ready. I stood there quietly and said, let's do this. We worked as a team. We stopped and we paused. We realized that what we were told to do with the ventilators was not helping the patients. Nobody understood how to treat this disease, and people were dying. It was probably the hardest time in my life. We didn't understand the treatment. We were powerless. I watched labs. I watched oxygen levels going the wrong way. I saw labs that I've never seen in medicine and only read about in textbooks. But we stopped, we paused, and we changed course. I changed the way the ventilator settings were, and we noticed the patient's oxygenation got better. We noticed the labs going in the right direction. We noticed the oxygenation getting much easier for the patient to breathe. It was phenomenal watching the oxygenation improving. Not every patient, unfortunately, in the hospital during this time was able to have a recovery. In all honesty, most of the patients didn't make it out of the hospital. But in that moment of our pause, we were able to make a difference. The patient stabilized. We were lucky. We were smart and we were calm. And in that brief pause that we took, I saw something extraordinary. Something so powerful that it changed my life forever. Clarity, the courage, and the coordination. It is not just in medicine. It is humanity in action, coming together for a purpose. That moment reminded me why I got into medicine. In our field, the brain is the most delicate organ we know. It weighs about 3 pounds, yet it contains billions of neurons, each one critical. However, a single millimeter can determine whether someone walks, speaks, or recognizes their family. So before every operation, my team does something that might seem simple. We pause. Time stops for less than a minute as we confirm the patient, the procedure, the site, and the plan. This pause is not weakness. This pause is wisdom. And here's the neuroscience behind it. When we pause, our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is in charge of decision making, of reasoning, turns on. It takes control. At the same time, the amygdala, which is responsible for fear, takes a step back. This shift from emotion to reasoning is why a brief pause can prevent a mistake in surgery and in life. During COVID, the world was forced into a similar pause. Hospitals halted elective surgeries. Labs shifted focus. Governments slowed down. At first, it was uncomfortable. But in that uncomfortability, in that stillness, critical questions arose. Researchers asked new questions. Doctors shared knowledge and strategies across borders. Systems reorganized. Pause wasn't weakness. Pause isn't weakness. It's preparation. And then there's breathing. Something so ordinary, so human, yet so extremely powerful. Surgeons know it instinctively. Before a delicate moment in the OR, we slow our breaths. Our heart rate steadies, our hands stop trembling, focus sharpens. We're able to take care of this patient. Neuroscience is fascinating. Slow, controlled breathing activates your vagus nerve, which sends calming signals to your heart, your lungs, and your brain. This is so powerful and able to be controlled by you. This reduces cortisol and shifts our nervous system from fight or flight into rest and digest. In other words, each deliberate breath physically changes your brain and your body, giving you calm, focus, and clarity. And as I just told you, how easy it is to activate your vagus nerve for calm, for neuroplasticity. In fact, we just implanted the first vagus nerve stimulator, where we do an operation and we put an electrode around the vagus nerve with an implanted device in the chest for patients post-stroke recovery. It helps them to harness the same pathway to rebuild neural connections, the same pathway that breath activates your vagus nerve. It is fascinating. Makes me, I nerd out about it. I get super excited, but you can create neural pathways. Use your breath wisely, because every time you slow it down, you're activating your vagus nerve. and you're enhancing your brain's ability to create new neural pathways. During COVID, breathing became more than a tool. It became a lifeline. Patients struggled to draw air. Hospitals were flooded with ventilators. Protective equipment made every inhale I took feel heavy. Yet I was able to use slow breaths, conscious breaths, and this allowed us healthcare workers to keep going, to keep fighting. Breathing. It connects ourselves to ourselves. It allows you to go in, and it connects you with others. Inhale, effort. Exhale, recovery. From chaos to calm, it reminded us that life is fragile and profoundly interconnected. And anyone, anywhere, despite economical status, can use this simple tool to regain balance, focus, and clarity, to unlock the power within themselves. Finally, the last lesson is unity. There is a myth that the surgeons are lone heroes, that we face the brain under the lights totally alone. That is far from the truth. Every operation depends on a network of anesthesiologists, nurses, techs, PAs, ICU specialists, therapists, just to name a few. Trust and communication make life-saving moments possible. And the brain itself works the same way. One single neuron does almost nothing by itself. However, billions of neurons create trillions of synapses, which allow for us to speak, to create thought, memory, creativity, and consciousness. Connection is strength. During COVID, we saw this principle on a global scale. Researchers shared their data faster than ever before. Doctors in one country advised colleagues halfway across the world. Hospitals reorganized overnight. Labs were able to come up with vaccines within months, a feat impossible without cooperation. Unity saved lives, and unity saved mine as well during that time in COVID. The neuroscience behind it is just as remarkable. Human brains are social brains. The mirror neuron system allows us to understand, to empathize with each other, to connect, and to coordinate. Collaboration literally requires our brain for cooperation. And society is stronger when we unite. Beyond all of these lessons are people, real people, patients who couldn't see their families desperate for news, healthcare workers exhausted beyond measure. And yet, in the darkest moments, in our hardest days, communities came together. Volunteers supported us at the hospital. Retired clinicians returned to work to help their colleagues. It was absolutely amazing to see this in action. Colleagues checked on each other, acts of kindness became just as vital as the ventilators themselves. So what can we take from all of this? From neurosurgery, neuroscience, and COVID-19 into our everyday lives to live a more complete life. It's easy. Pause before reacting in anger, fear, or uncertainty. Breathe to regulate your mind and your body, and unite to tackle challenges no one can solve alone. Humanity is resilient when connections are strong. Just like the brain itself, the brain is capable of astonishing recovery, able to create new neural pathways when an area that was once damaged. Neuroplasticity allows it to rewire, forming new connections and regaining function. Humanity, too, proved its resilience. Hospitals adapted, scientists innovated, communities found new ways to connect. We are stronger when we stay connected. So I'll leave you with this. If pausing makes us wiser, if breathing restores balance, if uniting creates strength, why wouldn't we live this way every single day? So pause, breathe, and unite. Because the same principle that allows billions of neurons to create consciousness also allows billions of people to create progress. So with that, I think my time is over. I could speak for another 6 hours about this topic. It's something that is so important to me. Connection is strength. It is. I want you to thank you so much for all of your attention, and please feel free to connect with me. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Katrina. That was